In fact, whenever I talk to him, I'm like, you had to have started here when you were 10 years old, because he just still looks super young. So Mike, we are excited to have you take us through the entrepreneur's journey, and let's welcome Mike to the floor.
Baby, fancy, get the keys.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Josh. Hey guys, I'm actually on a road trip right now from Atlanta, Georgia to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, if you guys can imagine that. I'm actually meeting up with some buddies. We're going to watch a hockey game in Pittsburgh. And I'm just throwing that out there because this is just one of those things where you kind of own your own time in this business. And I want to kind of inspire people to think of it that way, right? Like you own your own business. You can work this business from anywhere. I'm on my hotspot here and I'm able to communicate with over 200 people on this call. So I think that's pretty freaking awesome. But I'll give you guys a little bit of background on myself, just so we're not complete strangers. Some of you guys are probably seeing me for the first time. So my name is Mike Callejas. I am 41 years old. So thanks, Josh, for the compliments on my age and whatnot. But yes, I have been doing this business since October of 2005. So the business has changed. I have changed. The world has changed. Everything has really changed from when I got involved. But I want to take you guys a little bit through that journey to kind of just give you guys some context, right? Around like, what is it like when someone first starts in this business? What do they do? You know, what can you expect? That sort of thing. But before I get into all of that, the first thing that I want to cover is number one, if you're in this, you want to make sure that you can see clear where you're going with it. You know, can you see the end result already? I can remember when I first got involved, you know, I would always kind of like Steven said, right? Like I was a big dreamer. I would meet up with my team, you know, we would go to car dealerships, we would test drive the cars that we wanted to buy. We'd go and we'd print out pictures of places that we wanted to be, you know, just things like that. It's very important to have that vision of where you're going, because once you get a hold of that, right? Once you see it, you can't really unsee that process. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that, right? Same thing with this. Like, do you know that USANA is going to work out, right? This is one good example that I like to give people. You know, if you really believe where you're going and you really love what you're doing, nobody's going to be able to talk you out of it. So I'll give you an example, right? I'm going to watch a hockey game. I'm a big Kings fan, LA Kings fan. I'm a big hockey fan. And let's say that you and I had a conversation and you go, you know what? Hockey's kind of boring. I don't get it. And the LA Kings, you know, they're not a very good team. Like, let's say you said all of that. Do you think that's going to change my perspective of what I love and what I enjoy? No, I'm still going to like the Kings. I'm still going to like hockey. You're entitled to your own opinion, but I'm still going to continue on. And that's kind of part of the entrepreneurial journey. You have to be okay with people not agreeing with what you're doing. And I don't mean agreeing with it from a sense of you're doing something wrong or you're doing something bad. It's not that. It's just that this business is not going to be for everyone. I mean, from my perspective, it should be for everyone, but you know, it's just not going to work out that way. So just kind of keep that in mind. Like as you're going through this, don't take things personal. Don't get offended. You know, don't try to argue and fight with people on this. There's people in my family. I'll give you guys an example. And this is kind of like where my journey had begun. When I first got involved with this, I was really working on getting my friends, family members, you know, like the speaker before me was talking about her list. Like on my list, it was very short, right? I had some friends, I had some family members on there, my brothers, and I really approached all of them to try to get them to, you know, see what I was getting myself into, right? From everybody that I spoke to on that initial list, not one person got involved. Like literally not one person enrolled. Okay. And to make matters worse, like my mother, who's, you know, I love my mother. We got a great relationship. I told her, Mom, you got to get on these products. Just try them out. You know, you got to lose a few pounds anyways. You never want to say that to someone, by the way. But I had told my mom, you got to lose some weight, etc. And she was just not having it. Okay. She was not willing to even try the products. And I thought to myself, man, this is my mother. Like, if I can't get my mom to do this, like, how can I get anybody to do this? So just try to keep in mind that the people that you approach initially, they may or may not do it, but that shouldn't deter you from your vision, right? What you want to do, what you're excited about. Don't let somebody's opinion become your reality, right? That's the bottom line. So I kind of stuck with it. You know, that first year was pretty rocky. I didn't have a good first year in this business. You know, I quote unquote failed in the eyes of many when it comes to your business. I hadn't really made a big amount of money. I don't think I really made a profit. I was spending money every month trying to make it work. I still had my job at the time. So it was like a rocky first year. But here's what happened. I went to convention. Okay. And I always tell that story about convention because when I went to convention, what happened was the vision that I had for myself, I witnessed other people living that vision, right? So I had an idea of what I wanted life to look like, which is pretty much how my life looks like now, right? Traveling the world, enjoying my life, just kind of, building my business, doing that stuff. Like that vision that I had, I was like, I want to live like that one day. But what happened at convention was I got to see people that were living that life. And that changed everything. That made it more real. So from that point on, when I came back, definitely I was saying the same things. I mean, maybe a little bit refined, a little bit tuned up. I got some training, all that, but that didn't change that much, to be honest. What changed was my conviction, right? Like how much conviction I had behind what I was saying. I was telling stories. I was saying I met somebody who's living my dream lifestyle. Like I know if he can do it, I can do it. I know if she can do it, I can do it. Like those were the things that had changed for me. And with all that passion and conviction, my second year, I went to Ruby Director. I had generated a 6-figure income for myself. Like things really started doing well. And even though it's not a typical journey, but I was able to do something like that with all the adversities I had in my business and my life, I was able to pull something like that off. So things went pretty well for me my second year, and I never looked back. I think Stephen made a good point, right? Like keep doing the things that get you there. Don't get into the management trap. Don't get into just managing your people. Always lead from the front. And the reason why you want to lead from the front, it's not just because you want to be a good example and all that. I mean, sure, that's fine. But the reason why you want to lead from the front is because as the business changes, as the challenges change, as things evolve, you want to make sure that you know how to handle those new obstacles. Because if you're managing and you're not doing anymore, then you don't know what people are facing on a day-to-day basis. So that's why I always want to keep myself in that first gear, right? If you're driving a stick shift car, keep yourself in first gear all the time because you want to make sure that you can see like, okay, this is what people are talking about now. This is what people are facing now. I'll give you guys an example. In 2012, 2013, I feel like we went through a big change in the world. The whole industry of network marketing, the whole industry of side businesses had changed. When things like Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, Postmates, like all of those side gigs kind of came into play, I think it really shook up the side gig business, all right? Or it shook up the network marketing business too. But I still had my ear to the ground. I can remember, asking people like, hey, so what are you doing to make extra income now? People are like, oh yeah, I'm doing Uber or I'm doing Lyft. Because I would ask people like, if I could show you a way to make an extra $500 a month, would you be interested? People would say, yeah. But now I was hearing people say, well, yeah, but I can do Uber for, a couple of days a week and I'll make that extra $500 a month. And I was like, oh, that's something different, right? So that's why you want to keep yourself in first gear and never get into the management mode because you're going to start hearing those new objections. And really in business, overcoming objections is probably like 50% of the battle, right? You just have to know how to overcome the objection with something that makes perfect sense, right? You're not really selling people on it, but you're educating them on the benefits. You're educating them on why it makes sense. And then, the law of averages takes over from there. What I mean by that, which is something that's already been said, is if you talk to 10 people, you should get 1 or 2. Talk to 10 people, get 1 or 2. Like that average doesn't change, whether it's USANA or any business for that matter. There's always going to be an average like that. So with my journey, once income started doing well, started definitely enjoying my life. And that's one thing that I want to explain to everybody who's on this call. There's a very famous quote from Jim Rohn that says, if you live well, you will earn well. If you live well, you will earn well. I think we should all take that to heart, okay? Because if you live well, it'll show up in the magnetism of your personality, in the context of your voice. These are examples that Jim Rohn gives, but I do hold that true to my heart that yes, you do need to live well. So treat yourself right, spend time with your family. Make sure that you're really enjoying your life. I know that it's important to work hard, and I don't want to discourage anybody from working hard, but definitely enjoy your life. Enjoy the fruits of your labor for sure, to keep you focused and reminded on why you're doing this, right? People say, I have my why to be with my family. I have my why to travel. I have my why. And then they make all this money, right? They start growing in their business. They do all this in their entrepreneurial journey, but they just keep working. They never stop to really enjoy that part. So I want to make sure that you guys are living well. Make time for it. Schedule it. Don't sacrifice the business, but make time to enjoy yourself. So I really feel that for the last 10 plus years, I have truly enjoyed myself in this business. Like I have lived my dream lifestyle. There's no doubt about that. Like I have lived a very, very fortunate life. And I really owe a lot of that to USANA. I really do think that. Like it's a big part of my life. It truly is. So one thing that I want to kind of end with and transition into, closing it out here is, when I got involved in this business, like I said, I wanted to make money, I wanted to travel, etc. So it doesn't really talk about the products, right? Like it's just travel and income. Where does health fall into that? And I remember thinking, well, I'm going to take the products, I'm going to, I'm going to take care of my health, etc. But in 2020, I got some news that was very, very unsettling. And that's what brings us all to a close, right? Is in 2020, my mom was actually diagnosed with cancer. And when I heard that, I was just blown away. I was like, wait, what? Like, how does this happen? This is during the COVID time, during the pandemic. And I can remember thinking to myself, holy smokes, what the heck am I going to do? Like, my mom's like in her early 60s. I mean, for me, that's a really young age still, right? Like, she hasn't had a chance to even carry a grandchild in her arms. So I thought to myself, like, this is heartbreaking, and everybody was kind of sad and depressed. And I really just applied the same thinking that I've applied in my business and in my personal life towards my mom's health concern. And I said, we're going to focus on the positives. We're going to focus on what we can do. And we really, got a plan together. We started cooking all of her meals. We started, working out together. We started doing all this, of course, taking her supplements, etc. Things that she hadn't done consistently, up until that moment. But the reason why I bring this up is because I really thought that the biggest success I ever had in USANA was making income and getting an opportunity to travel to over 118 countries in the world. I really thought that that was the pinnacle of my success through my network marketing business. Little did I know that now, if somebody asks me, what's the biggest moment in your career with USANA? I say it was being able to hold my mom's hand through every single chemotherapy session. It was being able to hold my mom's hand and cook every single meal and be there side by side with her. My brothers, I have two brothers, right? And, when it came down to like, who's going to take her to her therapy, who's going to take her to her treatments, all of that, I said, well, we can split it up. There was not one appointment that my brothers can make it to. And this is not throwing shade at my brothers. I love my brothers, but this is just that point. Like, why did I do this? I wanted to do this business so that I could truly own my time. Because when I needed that time, it was there for me. I was able to take advantage of that and be with my mom, like I said, side by side. So for anybody who needs, somebody say, well, why share this? Is this to impress? I never share stories like this to impress anyone. I share the story to inspire people and to hopefully give you something to think about. Maybe that wasn't on your list of goals, just to be able to spend more time with your family. I mean, people say, I want to spend more time with my family. But like, this is like one of those things where I had to, like, there was no choice, right? Like I needed to be there for my mother. So I want to make sure that you guys are always building your business, but also knowing that you're building almost kind of like, if you're driving a car, it's important to have a spare tire in your car, but do people have a spare financial plan? Do people have a spare income, where they can kind of have extra time to do what they have to do? People don't live their life like that, right? They're just living day by day type of thing. So just wanted to share that story with you guys. It is probably the biggest, like I said, the biggest accomplishment that I've had in my network marketing journey. So don't want to say too much more. Hopefully you guys have learned a little bit from this. And as you go through your entrepreneurial journey, just know, depending on where you are, whether you're starting and you're just getting going, great, try and fail forward, try trial and error. If you're already at that moment where you have your business going and things are going pretty well, if things are going pretty well, once again, just keep it going, but keep that first gear, right? Don't let go of that. Keep your ear to the ground, adjust to the changes. Or if you feel like, you know what, things are not going so well for me right now, things are kind of struggling, like I don't know where to go from here. If that's where you're at, hey, take it as an opportunity, right? Time to recalibrate, refocus, refresh yourself, and reposition yourself. So hopefully that was helpful. Cheers, guys. I'm gonna go. I'm freezing here. So I'm gonna turn on my cardigan and turn on the heater, but it is freezing, freezing cold. I'm not used to this. I'm from Los Angeles, so not used to this cold weather. But if you guys ever need anything, feel free to reach out to me anytime. God bless you guys. Take care.